you get that name?
Well, my husband kind of calls me that some days.
Now you've been married over 50 years. He's got to be
53
nice,
years
but
in February.
how many?
53.
53 in February. Wow, that is amazing that you found somebody that would take care of you for all these years.
Yeah, I found him 59 years ago.
Oh, that is great. I have been married for 49 years to a cute Canadian girl, so I
The
know a
best
little
come
bit.
from Canada.
Yes. So anyway, tell me a little bit about your program, and let the people know what we're doing here.
Okay, my husband is a diabetic, has been for 35 years. Uh, he was on medication, insulin, metformin. He just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Um, he's had a lot of retinopathy, laser injections in his eyes, that kind of thing. And doctors just kept saying, "Oh, give him more medication." Well, that doesn't work. So I finally found a doctor here in Florida that said if you put him on a diet with dairy, gluten, and sugar free, we will take him off his medication. So he looked at me, and no potatoes also. He looked at me and he said, "I'm going to starve." And I said, "I promise you won't starve." My background is in nutrition and I love to cook. So I made up a diet for him because the doctor had no diet. He just said go dairy, gluten, and sugar free. So I made up a diet. I altered recipes and we went on the diet for 6 weeks. And he lost a bunch of weight. He went off the metformin, which he was taking 4 of every day. And he now is off his mealtime insulin. And he takes his 24-hour insulin, but he takes about 1/3 of what he did back then. And he feels a whole lot better, and his retinopathy has improved. And so I said to him after the 6 weeks, I said, "Now, okay, you've done this for 6 weeks. What do you want to do? You go back to normal or you want to stay on the diet?" He said, "I'm staying on the diet. I love it. I feel spoiled rotten on a diet." He said, "I've never been hungry and I've never craved anything."
Okay,
So
so what do I have to pay you to come to my house and cook all of my meals?
I think I'd be pretty pricey because I don't think he wants me to go anywhere. But it is pretty easy with the cookbook because what I've done is I've taken the normal recipes that you would eat. Like everybody eats pretty much the same stuff all the time. We have a regular routine and the stuff we like to eat. So I've taken those recipes, modified them, and made them into normal recipes like you would eat, like spaghetti, like pizza, like fish and chips, like casseroles, like roasts, like salads, like soups, like desserts, cakes, cookies, pies. And I've changed them all so he can have all those things, which he really enjoys because most diabetics seem to like sugar a lot.
Oh, you don't
I'm
have to
not
be
a,
diabetic. You don't have to be diabetic to like sugar.
no, no, I realize that, but most diabetics crave sugar, and it's something they just can't have. So what I've done is made substitutions of stuff that tastes really good. You don't know the difference, but it's healthy.
Okay, I was watching one of your videos on YouTube earlier, and you were doing actually your husband was doing the cooking,
Yeah.
and you were talking about it, and you were using almond flour
Mhm.
as opposed to a wheat flour,
Right.
and you were using a sugar substitute, but you said it so fast I couldn't understand exactly what it was. Can you tell me what that
Yeah.
substitute is?
It's called xylitol.
Spell
X
it.
Y X
X.
Y L I T O L.
Okay, and on the video, it looked like it had the same consistency of sugar.
Mhm.
And when I spread it on my cereal, it's going to look like I'm putting sugar on.
Right. You can buy it in brown sugar form, you can buy it in icing sugar form, and you can buy it in regular sugar form. It tastes like sugar, it looks like sugar, doesn't have the aftertaste of all those other ones. Um, it it's healthy because it's made from the bark of hardwood trees. So
Okay, it's made from what?
the bark of hardwood trees, mostly birch.
Oh, okay, from the bark.
Right.
Okay, so
So
when I finish my sugarless meal, I can go out and chew on the tree.
yeah, pretty much. And then you get your fiber along with it.
Because
So it does not raise it like David's sugar levels. He takes them often, right? And it doesn't raise his sugar levels at all.
okay, all right, and then the clarified butter. You used clarified butter. What is that process?
Clarified butter is butter without lactose in it, or lactose is sugar,
Okay,
and butter is full of lactose. So we take the sugar out, and all we do is boil the butter. And when you boil the butter, the sugar floats to the top in a foam. And now what I do, I found an easier way to do it. I just put it in the microwave. And I take a pound of butter and I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. It all foams up on the top. I stick it in the freezer till it's froze, and then because then it sinks to the bottom. Take it out, wash the bottom off, you got clarified butter.
okay, all right. So that worked good for that specific recipe. Let's take a look at real life at my house. Okay,
Okay.
I
Yep.
I have my meal, and then I want something sweet. And that could be a piece of banana cream pie, piece of apple pie, piece of pumpkin pie. If you got real moist cake, you could throw in a moist slice of moist cake, but generally it's pies. Or uh, if it's apple pie, for example, that goes real good with ice cream on the top.
Hmm.
So how do I fix the ice cream, or do I just give it up?
No, you don't give it up. You can make ice cream, and it's really simple. If you have a blender or a food processor, um, take some fruit, whatever fruit you might like that you enjoy, and put in a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of dairy-free cream, and turn the blender on until it's all nice, and then put it in the freezer for a few minutes. You got ice cream, and it is delicious. We don't even use the cream; we just use the fruit and a little bit of vanilla. We find it's really tasty. But the
Okay.
cream makes it more like ice cream.
Okay. Now, do you have a recipe book that you've prepared for uh, people?
Yes, and it's called Spoiled Rotten on a Diet. And I don't
Okay.
have one here because, like I said, I just moved and they're packed in the other house.
Right. Believe me, I understand that, Marsha.
Anyway, yes, and I have a book, and it's got about 100 recipes in it. And I'm working on my second book now, which is going to be nothing but desserts, sweets.
Okay. So
So,
so you can fix me then, because when I first was reading your material and you're talking about uh, zero sugar, it's like, hey, I've heard heaven is a great place. I think I'll just go.
yeah, but thing is, you'll never know you'll never miss the sugar because it tastes the same.
Okay. So do you have a website where we can find this material?
My website has been being revamped. It wasn't working, so I'm having it redone. But you can go to my Facebook site, which is Healthy Body, Happy Life.
Okay, that's healthy body.
Happy Life.
Okay, and then there's links there that we can get your recipe book.
Yes, there's a link there, and it's available on Amazon.
Okay, or on Amazon. So on Amazon, we could just go and do a search for your name, and it'll
Yep,
bring it up.
Just search for the spoiled rotten on a diet and you'll find it.
Okay, okay, that's great. All right, so I think you mentioned a little bit about the I I don't want to call it a plague, but uh, how bad is diabetes in the world today?
1 in 3 people in the U.S. have diabetes, and by 2030, it'll be 1 in 2.
Be- e- Every 1 out of 3 people currently is diabetic.
Yep. Or and there's all the pre-diabetics that don't know they're diabetic. And one of the big issues right now is they're going to run out of insulin. They can't make. There's only one manufacturer makes insulin, and they can't make it fast enough. So that's going to be a big issue with all. The problem with America, both Canada and US, is we are big junk food eaters. You can't take out processed food out of your diet.
Okay, and
I can't see them doing that because every advertisement on TV is either, especially in the US, either food or medication.
right, right, and it's uh, kind of interesting to sit there and try to stay on your diet when they're showing you all these great desserts and food that you can get, and then of course the ads for the medication comes on that tells you that all this is gonna solve your problems, except by the way, there's this side effect, this side effect,
Right.
this side effect, and in rare cases death.
Exactly.
It's like, oh please put me on that medication. I'd like to be on that.
Yeah. For instance, metformin, which is the very first medication they give you for diabetes, has a 50% mortality rate from heart attack and stroke.
50%.
Yes. And if you read the insert on the box, it tells you that. But your doctor's never going to tell you that. Actually, my husband questioned his doctor about that, asked him if he knew. He said, "No, I didn't know that." Because the drug rep didn't tell him that.
Okay, so Marsha, I'm doing a online study program right now, talking about the power of the subconscious mind,
Hmm.
and there are multiple doctors who are talking about getting a hold of your subconscious and curing yourself rather than doing the surgery or doing the pills, because of all of the side effects of the pills and even the surgeries. I had a guest on last week, Dr. Hanscom from Texas, who was or no, I'm sorry, he's from Seattle. He's a orthopedic surgeon and had done thousands and thousands of back surgeries
Hmm.
and quit because he found that his success rate was not nearly as high as he thought it was. And he's found that by talking to people and letting them uh, get control of their subconscious, that their pain is going away.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so can the same thing happen with diabetes?
Yes. There's a new study just came out. I was just reading about it the other day that they took people and they fed them what they thought was the same thing, same
Right,
amount of sugar. They told them how much sugar was in this food. And then they fed them food that they said no sugar was in, but it was the same food. Okay. When they ate the sugar food, of course, their sugar went up. And when they ate the food that had no sugar in it, but they thought had sugar in it, their food went up just as high or higher.
right, right. So
So it's in here has a lot to do with how high your sugar goes up. And I've seen David do that, think he's eating something and his sugar goes up because he thought he ate something he shouldn't. And really, it didn't. He just
it
manufactured it in his mind. I mean, it does go up because your mind makes it do that.
okay. All right. Now, Marcia, I'm assuming that you are not doing two separate diets, one for your husband, one for you. Uh, so you're eating the same uh, diet that you are proposing for the diabetic.
Yes.
And how is that impacting your life?
Well, I have a gluten allergy, so I have the gluten. No gluten has been wonderful for me, and no sugar. Sugar causes inflammation, so the things that I had aches and pains and things like that, they've gone away. Lost weight, feel good. So um, I think it's a healthy diet for anybody.
Okay,
And David had arthritis really bad. He doesn't have it now. He was supposed to get both his knees replaced, and he went back after 2 years on the diet, and the doctor told him he didn't have the right x-rays. He said there's nothing wrong with your knees.
yes, yes,
So then they spent the next 3/4 of an hour talking about his diet, because that was the only thing that had changed.
right, right.
So
So,
yeah, I had cancer 24 years ago. I had breast cancer, and they tried to put me on those lovely drugs, and I took them for 6 months, and they were making my life miserable. So I just said, no, I'm not taking them. And I decided to do my own natural way, and I'm still here.
good for you.
But, and I think attitude, like you say, your subconscious, your attitude, your body will heal itself if you give it the proper tools.
Okay, so now by proper tools, we're going to talk about lifestyle. We're going to talk about diet. We're going
Right.
to talk. Are we going to talk about exercise?
Yes, I think everybody should get exercise, and it doesn't have to be vigorous exercise, be just walking. Do something you like to do. Dance, walk, ski,
Golf,
kayak, golf. Yes,
golf.
golf's great exercise. Great exercise.
Take me
Um,
golfing and no one gets hurt.
Even if you use a cart, still good exercise. But yeah, pick something you like and do it on a regular basis, at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
And diet, I don't like the word diet because they don't work. They're temporary solutions, and then you just go back into your old ways, and So what you need to do is change your lifestyle.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. That becomes lifestyle.
Exactly.
So the recipes that you have prepared are good tasting, nutritious meals, just without the sugar.
Without the sugar, the dairy, or the gluten.
Okay. Now,
For instance, a slice of whole wheat bread, 2 slices of whole wheat bread, will raise your sugar levels as much as a Snickers bar.
oh, good. Give me the Snicker bar.
Yeah, exactly. The way I feel about it too. But I mean, people think they're eating healthy, but wheat is very inflammatory, and it has they've genetically modified it to death, and it has twice as much gluten in it today as it did when I was young. So that's where the inflammation comes from.
All right. So solve this problem for me. I love a delicious steak dinner.
Yeah.
Uh,
Perfect.
as long as it's got baked potato, which makes a great carrier for sour cream.
Sour cream
Okay.
is fine.
So the sour cream is okay.
Yes, it's better if you buy the lactose-free sour cream, because then you're really have no sugar. And you can
Okay.
buy that. You just have to look for it. Baked potato is not something you want to eat often because one medium potato turns to a half a cup of sugar in your stomach.
One medium potato becomes a half a cup of sugar in your system.
Mhm.
You can't
So
get
it's
a
not,
lot of you can't
but
get a lot of sour cream in a medium potato. You need a large potato to get enough sour cream on there.
yeah, to me the sour cream is better than the potato. But life is moderation. So you don't eat potato every meal, and you don't eat potato every day. But if you want to have a steak dinner and have a treat with a potato, there shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Just
So
don't do
okay, all right. So Marsha, I'm starting to like you a little more now.
it. It's like sugar. We call this flu season now, right? And COVID season. But anyway, flu season starts right after Halloween because we pig out on sugar at Halloween, and we carry that through to Thanksgiving, to Christmas, to New Year's, to Valentine's, and to Easter. And we just sugar ourselves to death in that and then that all depresses our immune system, and we all get the flu. I call it sugar season, not flu season. So if you want to have your sugar on Halloween, have your chocolate bar on Halloween. David always has 2 of those little chocolate bars on Halloween. That's his sugar for the year. Anyway, but if you want to have sugar, have your chocolate bar on Halloween, but don't have it from Halloween to Thanksgiving and then from Thanksgiving to Christmas and keep on going. Have your Christmas dinner, but don't have it Boxing Day, day after day after day.
Okay, let me get this straight, Marsha. You are telling me that the quote unquote flu season is
Mhm.
really just an overeating and eating the wrong
Yep.
substance that is causing people to have the flu.
Every time you eat sugar, it depresses your immune system for several hours. So if you come in contact with a bug and your immune system is depressed, guess what? The bug jumps on board and says, "Woo, party time."
Okay, so the sugar is uh, depressing your immune system. Okay, do you have the scientific statistic on that?
Oh yeah, there's been all kinds of studies out there on sugar and depressing your immune system. If you drink a Coke, for instance, it depresses your immune system like 7 hours. If you just Google it, you'll come up with oodles of studies that have been done on it.
So I really don't need to go get the COVID vaccine if they do get one out to me. I just need to quit eating sugar.
Quit eating sugar, eat healthy, you have a whole lot less chance of catching it. I'm not going to take the vaccine. David's not taking the vaccine because
Okay,
vaccines have a lot of stuff in them that our body doesn't like.
okay, Marcia, this is a trick question.
Okay,
How old were you when you got married?
21.
Okay, because you never ask a woman her age.
I'm 74.
Well, see, now thank you. You did the math for me. I was going to add 21 and 73 just to see how I came
74.
up with it. Well, for 74, you look pretty good.
Thank you. I feel really good. Like I said, I'm 70. My body's 74, but my head's only 29.
I like that. I like that because it really does work that way.
Mm-hmm.
It really does work that. I was suffering with osteoarthritis in my feet,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gotten the cane first, and then I got the walker, and then I got a motorized scooter. And while I'm doing my research for the project I'm working on right now, I'm reading about all of these miraculous healings by the subconscious. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm laying there in bed one night and I'm thinking, just because you're 76 doesn't mean you have to suffer from arthritis.
That's right.
I woke up next morning, the pain was gone. 3 days later, we sold the scooter. I haven't found a buyer for the walker yet, so I've still got that. If somebody wants it, give me a call. It's yours.
That's wonderful. Now take the sugar out of your life and it'll be even better.
Oh,
I know. You think it's terrible, but if you buy the xylitol and just substitute it for sugar, period,
right.
you'll see a huge difference. You can buy it in those little envelopes to put in your coffee. You can buy it. There's a brand name called Swerve, Swerve.
Okay. Now, my wife has cut down on making this particular dessert because she gave up on caffeine about 25 years ago or whatever it has been. So she doesn't eat any chocolate, doesn't drink coffee. But she used to have a dessert that she made called Heaven, and
Yeah.
it started out with some kind of a crunchy bottom layer for crust, and then she poured in chocolate pudding filling, and then sour cream, or is it sour cream? Anyway, whatever cream that you use in the cooking, and then another layer of chocolate on top of that, and then another, and then sprinkled powdered sugar on top of that. They called it heaven. Um, I'm not sure that that
We
really.
call that sex in a pan.
Well, yes, that would work. um, how do I make that kind of a dessert? What can I do with chocolate in desserts?
Okay, you can get sugar-free chocolate.
Okay, so just buy sugar-free chocolate. It
Either the
doesn't taste.
You
It
can buy
doesn't.
Baker's unsweetened chocolate. That's one kind of chocolate. I don't where you I don't know if is there Arizona, but in Florida they have what they call bulk nation.
Bulk Nation.
It's like a bulk food store,
Okay.
and they have a whole wall of chocolate of everything you can think of without sugar. They use an alcohol sugar, which is like, and that's another thing about the xylitol. It's an alcohol sugar, so never let your pets near it because their liver does not digest it properly, and it will kill them instantly almost. So keep it away from pets, but it doesn't bother humans' liver, just the way it's metabolized.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have oodles of, but you can buy chocolate chips sweetened with alcohol sugars rather than sugar. You can Lily's makes one. And they make chocolate also. So there's a lot of it out there. And then you can make your own chocolate pudding and your own chocolate syrup. Sounds like a recipe that I have to put in the new book.
Yes, I think so.
I'll have to get that recipe and modify it. You can make caramel sauce without sugar. Um, there isn't anything you can make that.
Okay, all right. Marsha, you've been a delightful guest. Thank you so much for your time today, and keep up the good work. Folks, you've been watching Real Hope with WL Laney. My guest today is Marsha Allen, the Sugar Witch. Uh, let's come up with a better name for you. The sugar solution that's going to
Okay,
save your
yeah,
life.
sugar genie.
Yes, Sugar Genie, that will work. Marsha,
Okay.
thank you so much.